welcome to Age-Friendly Thunder Bay here on Shaw Spotlight. And we're so pleased that you have joined us today. And our monthly program, of course, is about seniors and older adults, you that are watching here today on our program. I'm Rebecca Johnson, and our program this time for this month is going to be about activities that you can actually attend in Thunder Bay. Now, if you're an isolated senior or an older adult here in Thunder Bay and you're saying, I don't go out, well, maybe we can attract you or entice you to come out of your home or your apartment. And if you have a family here in Thunder Bay that are visiting and you want to have some activities to go to, well, today we're going to talk to you about that. And I have two guests. And first, we're going to be talking to John Cameron, who is a Tourism Development Officer with the Tourism Thunder Bay. And then later in the program, we'll be talking to Louisa Costanzo, who is a Cultural Development and Event Supervisor with the city. So, John, you're up first. I asked your department, knowing that you were going to be a guest, that what were some of the activities that we could go to in Thunder Bay. And I was just, first off, I want to thank them, and you can remember to go back and say thank you to them, is that they indicated there's a huge, long list of things that people can go to. So if I was an isolated individual in Thunder Bay, sitting at home, what could I go to here in Thunder Bay?
Well, I guess everybody's been isolated for the last couple of years due to COVID.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's, events have come back, which is, the good news. And, a lot of these event organizers are, coming out of the gate late and because they really didn't know what to expect and what the restrictions and lockdown was going to be. So, some of the events that we've traditionally held in Thunder Bay are going to be back on board, and we'll see if they come back strong. Obviously, there's going to be some different contingencies that people have to adhere to. But, just for example, coming up at the end of the August long weekend, it's going to be a very busy one. Chippewa Park was supposed to have their 100th anniversary a couple of years ago, but because of COVID, that got pushed back. So that's going to happen on the August long weekend out at Chippewa. I think it's called 101 Family Fest, which that would be a very age-friendly type of event. Again, getting out to Chippewa may be a challenge for some people, but maybe there's maybe accommodation for that.
John, could I interrupt? When you talk about Chippewa, don't they have the activities every Sunday that they have singing and something in the afternoon?
I think that's going on. I think they just announced that. That's every Sundays.
Right.
But this was going to be their big 100th anniversary celebration for the park, August long weekend. That same weekend, we have the Northern Ontario Disc Golf Championships coming back.
Oh, all right.
That's basically flinging a frisbee, but it's a competitive it's mirrored around golf. There's some older adults that are participating in that. It's different age groups, and it's all the way down to youth. It's Northern Ontario Championship. We're looking at about maybe 150 out-of-town visitors coming in to participate in that event. And then we also have the Shu Nationals, which is, you go, what is Wushu? But if Peng Yu would definitely know it. He's sort of the guy that's spearheaded this event. But Wushu is an Olympic sport. It's a martial art, sort of like Jackie Chan and Kung Fu. But it's an Olympic sport. This is a national championship that's being held at Lakehead University. But there's also a big cultural component that there's going to be a big gala of sort of that Chinese cultural celebration that's going to happen on the Sunday after that event. That would be a spectacular cultural event for a community that's sure going to draw a lot of people that might be of interest for people to get out and see.
Right. Now, as I said, I had a list, and there's all kinds of things. I mean, the Terry Fox Monument, people would have to drive out there, but you can definitely go to that.
Yeah, that's open year-round, and obviously our visitor center is open hours, I think, 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning till about 7 at night. So there's always information staff there, but accessing the monument, that's open to the public year-round. Same with Kekabeka Falls. So I mean, it's a perfect setup for the ramps and the stairs that they have there. So it is accessible for people as well, and depending on the rainfall, it can be very spectacular.
Right.
And Fort William Historical Park is back open this year too, going full-fledged.
Oh, right. The
But
terrible flood, but they're back from
right,
that. Yes.
and they're hosting the big Country on the Bay Music Fest
Right,
this
forgot
year.
about that.
So that's probably going to be, when we think of being Blues Fest down at the waterfront, that was our big event, big concert event of the year. So this event out at the Fort's going to be a huge one, and again, I think they're planning shuttle services from the various hotels because they're expecting a lot of out-of-town visitors in for that event over the 3 or 4 days. I think that's July 23rd, 24th, 25th weekend, or somewhere around there.
So if I was an adult and sitting at home, and I am a grandmother, but at the same point in time, if I wanted to get out and got one of my grandchildren to take me out, what about out into the rural areas, like, say, Belouzas or Gammondales?
Yeah, I mean, those are obviously. I'm not sure what the weather is like for
No.
strawberry picking, but it's a late, early. I don't
Right.
have my farmer's almanac with me, but that was my mother's favorite. But yeah, those are great. And then the Pioneer Village out at, just on the outskirts of the city in Oliver Papunj is back
Right.
open, and apparently they have the antique cars there.
Yes.
I forget the gentleman's name that had that, and I think the Duck Hunt Museum is out there too. So that's a clustering of a number of exhibits that people could get out and see in our rural area of Thunder Bay.
Right. If you go to Slate River, for example, you can take like a tour because they've got the farms and then they've got the cheese farm. You can go
Yeah.
out there, and then there's an artist whose name I am totally is left my memory, but that has a little studio. You can go to that studio as well.
Yeah, and I think the Slate River Dairy Farm is also
That's correct, yeah,
open for
yeah.
some tours. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities there, and of course coming up will be the CLE Fall Fair will be on after a 2-year absence as well, and they're looking at bringing in some older rockers, from the 80s, 90s. Trooper and bands like that. So I mean that might be of interest, but I mean everybody likes going to the fair. That's a family-friendly event. So that's in mid-August. So that's back on track as well.
So if there's lots of activities, and I think the most important is that people can go at a fairly reasonable price. I mean, some seniors unfortunately don't have money, so they don't. And so how do they get to go to these activities if you don't have a lot of money? Because some things are free.
Yeah, I think there might be a small admission, and that's true with the Thunder Bay Museum
Right.
and the Thunder Bay Art Gallery. Sort of some of our hidden gems, and even the conservatory is a place where you go for a relatively cheap day out
Right.
with your family. So, yeah, and I think just with the cruise ships coming here, that's another added excitement with the Alexander Henry that's down on the waterfront as well, which they're trying to sort of develop into a transportation museum there. But those are opportunities too. Although with the cruise ships, just the logistics getting down there might be a little bit tough because on the days that the cruise ships are in, there's tour buses and different service trucks going down that road. So they're really asking people to use the trail and walk down to see the ship. But even from Marina Park, you can still see the massive Viking ship that comes in. It's kind of spectacular and gives you an opportunity to maybe visit Marina Park and that area as well.
Amazes me how many people are down at the waterfront just walking, which costs you nothing to do that, and enjoy the panoramic view that we have out there.
Well, and I'm sure Louisa is going to talk about Live on the Waterfront, which happens on Wednesdays, and that's just another opportunity to explore the waterfront as well. And then in September, maybe a little bit younger group will be taking in the Wake Giant Music Festival as well.
We'll leave it at that for now then, John. Thank you, and join us in a moment, and we'll bring you Louisa Costanzo, and we'll talk about some of the other activities. Thanks, John.
Okay, thank you.
Well, welcome back to our Age Friendly here on Shaw Spotlight. And we're talking today about activities in the city of Thunder Bay. And Louisa Costanzo is my guest, who is a cultural development and event supervisor with the city of Thunder Bay. It's a long title, but it is what it is, and that's what you do. So, Louisa, some of the things that are going on in the city, we talked to John about more or less the bigger events and all the rest of it. What is it the city puts on that are really an older adult would like to attend?
For sure. Well, I think, everyone's invited to our events, older adults,
Right.
children, everyone. So it's exciting this year because we're actually going back to in person after 2 years, as John mentioned. It's been a long time, and I think we really could use getting together as a community. So we start our Live on the Waterfronts next Wednesday on the 13th, and they run every Wednesday until the 31st. Plus on the 17th of August, we have a matinee, a children's matinee in the afternoon, and then a concert in the evening too. So
Now, what kind of music do you have for that? I've been to a few of them over the years.
So, I mean, honestly, it's a festival, right? It's a performance festival. So we kind of have a mix of everything. Like we start on this Wednesday with Mood Indigo, who I think a lot of people, they're pretty much a staple in our community. And then we have another artist named Danielle Polari, who is, again, from Thunder Bay. She's wonderful, great singer. And then we have a touring act coming in, or not a touring act, an out-of-town act called, with Chris, her name is Chris Dirksen, and she's a celloist, and she is going to play some classical music, and I think it will be a nice evening. And then the following week, we have locals, Honest Heart Collective, so a little bit of a rock band. So kind of a mix of everything. Like we have some country, we have some hip-hop, we have some rock, we have
So it's a real mixture of music.
Absolutely.
So it wouldn't matter what, like you said earlier, it doesn't really matter what age group. There's something to attract you at some point during the summer, every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, plus there's community groups down there, food vendors, art activities, like there's just something for everyone. And if you don't, if that music's not, the first band's not something that you really like, then maybe the next band will be. So it's kind of like there's a lot of opportunity for sure.
I know when you had that up on the, what was it, the balcony?
The parkade there.
Oh, I loved it there. It was so cool to have it, and you could look out over but this will be right at the park.
Yes, this will be right at the park,
Okay.
yes.
All right, that's fine. So what else do you have to offer?
And then we have our, and then in general on the waterfront, we have the splash pad, which is open 9 to 9 every day. So that's really fun. And then this summer we have movie nights, but instead of doing it at the waterfront, we're actually bringing it to parks in the neighborhood. So August 12th, we start at Carrick Park. So that will be it's on Marlborough Street, I think, if I'm saying that correctly. August 19th, it's West Thunder Community Center. August 26th, Vickers Park. And September 1st, Current River Park. So
A movie.
Movie,
So
so
I can go to the local park and watch a movie.
Absolutely.
Do we know what kind of movies they're going to be at this point?
They're family-friendly movies.
All right.
Starting probably later this week, we're going to have on the I can't think of what it's called right now, but anyways, on the city website where it's like a poll, you can pick what movies you'd like to see. We have 6, and you can pick 4 of the 6, I think, or 2 of the 6, and then we'll pick the top 4, and those will be what we'll play at the parks. But they're friendly movies, so if you have grandchildren, you can bring them down, just bring a chair and watch a movie under the stars with your family.
There we go.
And those
That
are
is
absolutely free. So.
All right. Now, with that, is there going to be something that you can get to eat there, or you just go to the park and watch the movie?
Yeah, I think we're trying to have some food vendors this year. This is a new concept. In the past, we've done it at Marina, so this will be a new concept.
Right.
Working from last year, which we had capacities, but we still had about 150 people out every time. So we're trying to get some food vendors, but you're more than welcome to bring snacks. If you want to have a blanket, that's what you want to send. You can bring whatever you'd like. Yes.
Right. Just come and enjoy.
Just come and enjoy.
Do you have anything else on your list?
Yeah, I actually do. One thing that's really exciting this year is we are doing some older adult programming, Rebecca. So starting in September, we have our FABS program, which is Fun Active Babes. That's geared towards women 55 plus. So if you want information about that, you can just go to Perfect Minds or call 625-8463 to register. But that starts in September, and September 29th, 1 to 2, and it's at the Giant Gymnastics Gym on 512 Mark Street. So that's kind of something coming up there. And then we have the Retirement Explorer starting September 23rd to November 25th, and it's every Friday at Mary J. Black Library from 1 to 2:30. So
what would that entail?
So that you can join other retired people and discuss things to do in Thunder Bay and kind of just explore Thunder Bay is what I understand. So it's a new program for me, and if I've got it wrong, I apologize. But and then we're working on our Culture Days programming too. So we have quite a bit of stuff coming up in a while.
The important thing is, though, that you're addressing that demographic, which is older adults and seniors in our community, and you're finding new areas and exploring different things for them to be involved in.
Absolutely, and I think what we're really excited to work on, I'm hoping to see some more intergenerational programming too, so we'll see what we come up with a little while, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, one of the things too, Louisa, is the fact that when you're talking about intergenerational, is a lot of older adults in our community don't have grandchildren here, or they they are missing that interaction. So it's nice to see that you have a chance to have young people involved with the older adult.
For sure. Yeah, I think so. We haven't really, we just started working on that, but I'm hoping to see that. I've had a few conversations with some community groups and stuff in terms of what they would like to see for programming and what they can offer, and kind of put the seed in there to see what we can do. But definitely keep an eye out for us. You can look at all our stuff on Thunder Bay, thunderbay.ca/events, and should have some more information as we go, but we'll make some announcements as well.
One of the things, let's go back to the Wednesday night, because I think that's
Sure.
really important for people to go. They don't have to pay anything to go, and have music all the time. And is there a lot of people there? It's like some people they don't want to go because there's lots of people, like it's claustrophobic. Is that happen, or what's it like in the
You know what,
marina
I think
on
the
Wednesdays?
park is pretty big. I think, like, as John mentioned, like Blues Fest is down there,
Right.
so it can fit a good amount of people. And then you can set your lawn chair up anywhere and just sit where you'd like to sit. Like we had some people for Canada Day, we had some people on the side of the stage that were sitting there. They had a little picnic and enjoyed themselves.
Right.
Some people set their lawn chairs right up in front, and so I think there's a good amount of space there
Right.
to
I
feel
want to pick
comfortable.
up on Canada Day.
Yeah.
I know it's over
Yes.
for this year, but I understand that we here in Thunder Bay did something very unique and different that has now gone national.
Yeah, we did receive some national attention, which was really exciting. So we focused more on, inclusiveness, coming together as a community, rethinking the event, and it's a process that's going to continue in the next little while, but looking at something that's more meaningful and thoughtful and working towards reconciliation. So we had an elder joined us for an opening prayer. We had a sunrise ceremony at 5:45 a.m., which was pretty amazing. We also had the treaties and residential school display that Nan had brought down for us. It was educational. And then we had, our regular concert on the stage. We had some great performers, Cheyenne Havorka, Martin Blachette, so a lot of people that, Thunder Bay, Thunder Bay talent. So it was a wonderful day. It was just a very different feeling, but people really came together. I think throughout the day, we probably saw anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 people down there, because it was stretched from 12 until 9 p.m. But it was a really nice day.
Why I'm bringing that up, because even it's over, is it something that you would build on for 23, for example? So if we can be sitting here and thinking about what we would like to do a year from now, that might be something that would be attractive to us. So think about July the 1st of 2023. I'm going to the marina to be part of Canada Day, because it is unique and different. And as I say, you've been acknowledged nationally for something that is truly uniquely to Thunder Bay. So congratulations.
Thank you.
To you and your team. That's outstanding.
Thanit you very much. It was exciting. Yes, us in Winnipeg too. So that was really nice to have those conversations with CTV and talk about what we were doing here in Thunder Bay.
Okay.
Plus, we looked great on television, Rebecca.
That's all right.
It's a beautiful day.
Thank you. All right, we'll conclude, Louisa, for the moment, and we'll be back shortly with John and Louise, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how you that are sitting at home can watch and participate in some of the activities that we have here in Thunder Bay. Well, welcome back to Age Friendly Thunder Bay, and we're talking about, tonight we're talking about the whole area of as a senior, and if you're isolated, and how you would like to get yourselves out of your home and into some of the activities, or attend some of the activities. And John Cameron, who's a Tourism Development Officer here in for Tourism Thunder Bay, and Louisa Costanzo, who's a Cultural Development and Events Supervisor with the City of Thunder Bay, our guests this evening. And we have to talk about the fact that how do we get people that are home? They're isolated. Maybe don't have a lot of money, you two, and so they need to get out. I mean, people shouldn't be sitting home all the time. That's my opinion. I share that. I think it's important that people get out and do what they can. How do we get them out? I mean, you identified earlier in the program all the activities there are. So what is it that you're trying to do to get that isolated individual out of their homes?
That's a great question. I mean, I think for the city events, obviously being free is, then they're financially accessible. We obviously try to make the events, we do make the events accessible, so we have accessible washrooms, we have accessible parking available, drop-offs for lifts, and we're usually try to program close to a bus stop, so that if people do have to take the bus, that it's fairly close there. So those are some of the things that we consider, but I mean, if someone has a suggestion, we're always open for more, because we'd love to see more people out.
Yeah. John, any thoughts?
I think maybe sometimes it's maybe, I know my sister is a rec director at one of our senior homes, and I think sometimes it's maybe just getting our information into different areas about what's happening in Thunder Bay. And, everybody maybe has access to, the advertising that goes out, but sometimes you have to do that a little bit extra sort of personal touch and reach out to different organizations and, just let them know what's going on and, the potential of how to get there. Obviously, getting around, we have Hagee Transit that possibly could help out. But I think if you're looking at, seniors getting out, I think it's, that's more of a connection through some of the homes maybe. And, if seniors are involved in different groups, trying to get the message out to those groups of what's happening in Thunder Bay.
And if you don't have a lot of friends, and some seniors don't have a lot of friends, or some of their friends have passed away, you can go to things by yourself. I mean, you don't have to have, a great big group. You can go by yourself and enjoy.
Absolutely. I think you'd probably be surprised. You probably know half the people there if you got down there, to be honest. It is Thunder Bay. And I do agree with what John said, too. One of the things, we were trying to connect with some of those, Chartwell and some of the independent living homes and stuff like that to give them information, too. So we've had buses come to our events, too, and we'd still welcome that as well. But, I think going out yourself is totally doable. I do it. I go to events by myself. You never know. You'll probably know someone or you'll meet someone. For sure.
One of the things, John, I'm holding this up.
Yeah.
So people can see, this is the Thunder Bay Experience. This is a great magazine. You put it together every year. And it has all kinds of information about anything and everything to do in Thunder Bay. Are these free?
They're all free. They're at the visitor centers, obviously, Terry Fox Information Center, the Pagoda, which is open throughout the summer season. And it's at the airport, it's at various hotels have it. So it's anything that any sort of tourism partners are carrying the magazine, and it's available that way. And when we have special events that happen in Thunder Bay, the magazines are made available for those events as well. So as you said, Rebecca, it has the total inventory of what to see and do in Thunder Bay, from the attractions, the restaurants, good example of that is the new Goods & Co Market that's been opened up at the Eaton Center that has really is a meeting place. It's more like the Forks, if you think of the Forks. So the resurrection of that Red River Road facility has been amazing, and it's just a good way to get out in the afternoon and hit 20, 30 shops and maybe have an ice cream, or if you want, you could have a drink as well. But there's a lot of things to do within that facility as well. Plus, you're right downtown, and then you could also connect into the marinas. So that's all within that listed in the magazine as well.
I was driving by there the other day, and it was quite interesting. When you mentioned about going by yourself, Louisa, is the fact that I saw an individual. They had the outside patio, and there was a lady who had a nice big brimmed hat on, sitting there having a sandwich or something to eat anyway, and having a beverage. And I thought, and she was all by herself. And I thought, that is so Toronto kind of a thing. It was really unique. It was, and I thought, well, anybody can do this. You don't have to have company, and somebody could come and sit down and share a conversation with you if you wanted.
Absolutely. I know. And speaking of Toronto, too, when I lived there, that's when I first moved there. I didn't know anyone. That's what I did every time I had a day off. I would just walk through the city and go different places by myself, and then met new people, met friends as I was doing it. So it filled up the time, that's for sure.
That's right. With the, I like the fact that you talked about Hagee, or the Lift Plus that can get you around if you needed to. And that, of course, is somebody that has a walker. If they need to get out and about, they can't do it by themselves. So that's available. The other thing is looking at and just wanting to participate in something in the community, and not just sitting and watching television, although we're really happy they're doing that today. But at the same point in time, it's really important to get out and visit with people.
And a lot of times, I mean, Thunder Bay Transit connects with a lot of the events that are going on as well. You're somewhat nearby from the stops, so there is opportunities with transit to get out and to enjoy some of these things as well in Thunder Bay.
John, thank you. Louisa, thank you. You brought a good idea of what we can do in Thunder Bay. The fact that older adults in Thunder Bay can participate, and so really appreciate what you've done for us today. Thank you very much. Just to let you know, for next month, we're going to be talking about other activities here in Thunder Bay, but also we will be joining you with Linda DePiro in a moment. She will bring you your 1-minute exercise moment, so stay tuned for that because you need to get up and active off your couch and enjoy the time that you have doing exercises with Linda.
I'm Linda DePiro, and today our exercise focus is on maintaining a healthy spine through spinal articulation, through flexion and extension. So I'm just going to kind of stand to the side so that you can see me. You can do this also seated. Stand up nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, and start with the cervical spine. There's 7 vertebrae in the cervical spine. You're going to nod your chin forward. 12 vertebrae in the thoracic spine. So it's like you're hollowing out your abdominals, rounding over a beach ball. Bend your knees as you come down. Add a little bit of bouncing up the bottom as that stimulates the connective fascia tissue. Ground through your feet. Slowly restack each vertebra, coming up one at a time. The lumbar spine, then the 12 through the thoracic. Keep the chin down as that's the last to come up. Adding a little extension by rolling the shoulders back and looking upward, or lifting and extending. Side flexion, lift, reach in opposite directions, take a nice deep breath into the side of the rib cage, bend your knees and go into a little bit of rotation. Flex your hand, reach up, lift. Other side, lift, side bend, breathe in, bend your knees, go into rotation, taking it all the way up, taking it up nice and tall. And we can go down again, all the way down, flexing forward, reversing that coming up. And take your time with us. Take a nice deep breath, inhale, and please be kind to your spine because at the end of the day, you are only as young as your spine. Stay fit.